What if I told you that the very thing you have spent your life running from, the pain, the dark corners of your soul, the parts of you that make you uncomfortable, holds the key to your life's deepest purpose? The truth is, you've been taught to fear it. You've been conditioned to hide from it, to silence it, to suppress it in the name of seeking joy, success, and outward achievement. But what if, instead of avoiding it, you embraced it? What if your pain, the very pain you've tried to escape, is not a curse but a blessing in disguise? Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in the study of the human psyche, believed that the path to self-discovery, to true purpose, lies in what he called the shadow, the hidden, suppressed parts of ourselves that we often reject. The shadow is not something to be ashamed of. It is the unconscious part of you that contains everything you have been taught to ignore or deny. Your fears, your deepest insecurities, your regrets, everything that you try to push down and forget is contained in your shadow. And yet, Jung argued that it is in facing and integrating these parts of yourself that you find true freedom, authenticity, and ultimately your life's purpose. But here's the paradox. You cannot find your purpose in the light. It is only in the darkness, in the quiet solitude where the shadows live, that you can begin to see who you truly are. When you sit with your pain, when you embrace it instead of running from it, you uncover the very truths that will set you free. It is in this pain that you find the raw material of your purpose. The reason this is so difficult to accept is because from an early age you've been taught to avoid suffering. Society tells you that pain is something to fix, something to escape, something to cure. But Jung's work offers a radically different perspective. It's not the pain itself that needs to be fixed. It's your relationship to it. You need to stop fearing your pain and start seeing it as a guide. Pain is not a punishment. It is an invitation to discover something deeper about yourself. The very parts of you that you have been taught to suppress are often the parts that hold the answers to your questions about meaning and purpose. And it is only when you confront them in solitude, when you sit in the quiet of your own soul, that you can begin to hear them. When Jung explored the shadow, he didn't just see it as a psychological concept. He saw it as the gateway to understanding your deeper self, the self that exists beyond the roles you play, the labels you wear, and the personas you project to the world. The shadow is not a part of you to be ashamed of. It is the part of you that contains your truest, most authentic potential. But in order to access this potential, you must first accept the shadow and invite it into the light. But how do you confront the shadow? How do you step into the darkness that feels so terrifying and unknown? It starts with solitude. It starts with a willingness to sit in the quiet and face yourself without distraction. In solitude, you are alone with your thoughts, your fears, your regrets. You are no longer able to hide behind the busyness of life. You are left with the raw truth of who you are, and it is here that you will encounter the shadow. It will challenge you, it will scare you, and it will make you feel vulnerable. But it will also set you free. The power of solitude lies in its ability to strip away the external noise, to take away the distractions that keep you from truly facing yourself. When you are alone with your thoughts, when you are away from the world's expectations and pressures, you can no longer avoid the shadow. It will show up in ways you didn't expect. In the guilt you've been carrying, the pain you've been trying to ignore, and the parts of yourself that you've long tried to bury. And it is in these moments, when you finally face the darkness within, that you will begin to find your purpose. Jung believed that we all have a personal myth, a story that is uniquely ours. And this myth is formed through our struggles, our triumphs, our wounds, and our healing. But to discover your myth, you must first face the pain that has shaped you. You must confront the shadow, because it is through the shadow that your personal myth is revealed. Your struggles are not meaningless. Your pain is not pointless. These are the building blocks of your life's narrative, and it is only when you embrace them that you can begin to understand the deeper purpose that lies within you. But this journey is not for the faint of heart. It requires courage to face the parts of yourself that you've been taught to reject. It requires strength to look at your pain, your failures, your mistakes, and see them not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth. It requires a willingness to embrace the shadow in its entirety, to see the beauty in the brokenness, and to allow yourself to be transformed by it. As you begin to explore the shadow in solitude, you will start to notice a shift. The more you embrace the parts of yourself that you have rejected, the more whole you will become. Your purpose will no longer be something you are chasing or trying to force. It will begin to emerge naturally. You will start to feel aligned with something greater than yourself, as if your entire life has been leading you to this moment of self-discovery. Your pain, your struggle, your shadow, all begin to weave together into a narrative that is uniquely yours, a story of growth, transformation, and purpose. The purpose of life is not something that can be found in external achievements, in accolades, or in the pursuit of pleasure. It is something that must be discovered from within, through the courage to confront your shadow, to embrace your pain, and to listen to the wisdom that lies in the silence. Solitude is not a punishment, it is a gift. It is the space where you can confront the darkness within and emerge into the light, stronger, wiser, and more connected to your true purpose. So as you stand at the edge of your own personal transformation, ask yourself, are you ready to embrace the shadow? Are you ready to sit in solitude and face the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding? Are you ready to uncover the truth of your life's purpose, no longer as a distant dream, but as a living, breathing reality? The journey may be difficult, the pain may be overwhelming at times, but in the end, it is through this journey that you will find your truest self. The secret to your purpose lies not in avoiding the shadow, but in embracing it. Only then can you begin to live a life that is authentic, aligned, and deeply meaningful. You've lived your life in a world that praises the pursuit of happiness, success, and external validation. The noise around you, the constant chatter about what you should achieve, how you should look, how you should feel, it all pulls you away from the most essential truth about your existence, your purpose. The world tells you that purpose is found in the light, in the accolades, in the outward successes. But here's where Jung's teachings cut through all the noise. He reveals that the true secret to your purpose is not found in the light, but in the darkness of your own soul. It lies in the parts of you that you've been taught to reject, in the pain that you've been taught to suppress, and in the shadow of your existence, the parts of yourself that you hide from the world and even from yourself. This is the first critical step in your journey, embracing the parts of yourself that you have long denied, dismissed, or feared. The shadow is not something evil. It is not something to be ashamed of. It is simply the unconscious parts of your personality that you have repressed. Parts that, when left unexamined, hold immense power over your life. These are the parts that, when ignored, come out in subtle and destructive ways. The anger that simmers beneath the surface, the insecurities you hide behind a facade of confidence, the pain you've buried deep inside, all of it is part of your shadow. Jung taught that the more you resist these parts of yourself, the more they control you. But when you bring them into the light, when you confront them with courage and self-compassion, they lose their grip, and in doing so, they reveal your true power. This process of confronting the shadow is not easy. It is often uncomfortable, and it can feel like you're unraveling the very fabric of who you thought you were. But this unraveling is necessary. To truly know yourself, to truly step into your purpose, you must first allow yourself to see the parts of you that you've hidden away. The fear, the shame, the sadness, the things you've tried so hard to outrun are the very things that will lead you to your truth. It is only by facing these aspects head-on that you can integrate them into your being, that you can reclaim your power, and that you can align with your deeper purpose. Jung believed that pain is not something to be avoided. It is a portal, a doorway through which you must pass in order to reach the most authentic version of yourself. It is through pain that the shadow is revealed, and it is only through embracing that pain that you can begin to integrate it. Pain, then, is not the enemy. It is the key to unlocking the door to your true self. Your purpose is not found in the avoidance of pain, but in the willingness to sit with it, to explore it, and to learn from it. When you enter solitude, when you finally step away from the noise of the world, you give yourself the opportunity to face your shadow. It's in these moments of stillness that you begin to hear the whispers of the parts of you that have been ignored, rejected, or misunderstood. Solitude is not about being alone in the physical sense. It is about being with yourself, without the distractions of the external world, so you can begin to truly hear your inner voice. The noise of society, the pressure of the world's expectations, and the endless distractions that fill your life all fade away, leaving space for you to truly hear yourself. This is where the work begins. In this space of solitude, you will encounter your deepest fears, your darkest memories, your most uncomfortable truths. You will be forced to confront the parts of yourself that you have avoided for so long. And it is here in the quiet that you begin to understand something profound. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It holds within it the wisdom you need to grow, to evolve, and to discover your life's purpose. You cannot know who you are without first knowing who you are not. The shadow shows you the parts of yourself that you need to let go of. The old stories, the limiting beliefs, the false identities that no longer serve you. And it is in releasing these things, in letting go of who you thought you were, that you make space for who you are meant to become. This process of shadow work, of embracing your pain and your solitude, is not something that happens overnight. It takes time, patience, and above all, courage. But with each moment of stillness, with each moment of self-reflection, you begin to peel away the layers of who you are not, and you reveal the person you are meant to be. Your purpose will not be handed to you on a silver platter. It is something you must discover for yourself, through introspection, through pain, and through embracing the shadow. It is something you must cultivate from within. Jung believed that the shadow contains the parts of ourselves that we often repress because we fear them. But by bringing these parts into the light, we are able to reclaim them, to reintegrate them into our sense of self. And in doing so, we begin to experience a deeper sense of wholeness, a sense of alignment with who we truly are. The more we embrace the shadow, the more we understand our purpose, not as something we must chase, but as something we must allow ourselves to become. When we stop rejecting the parts of ourselves that we fear, when we stop running from our pain, we open the door to true freedom. As you begin to integrate the shadow into your life, you will find that your purpose becomes clearer. It is no longer something that feels distant or unattainable. It is no longer a goal to chase. Instead, it becomes something that flows naturally from within you. When you align with your true self, when you stop hiding from the pain and the parts of you that you've been taught to reject, you begin to live authentically. You stop trying to fit into the boxes that society has created for you. You stop looking outside of yourself for validation and begin to create your own meaning. And in that process, your purpose emerges not as something you must find, but as something you must live. Jung's exploration of the shadow is a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth. It teaches you that the darkest parts of yourself are not to be feared, but to be embraced. It shows you that your pain is not an obstacle to your purpose, but the very force that will guide you toward it. By confronting the shadow in solitude, by allowing yourself to face the discomfort, you make space for your true purpose to emerge. And in doing so, you unlock the key to living a life that is authentic, meaningful, and deeply connected to who you truly are. So I ask you, will you face your shadow? Will you step into the solitude that will allow you to confront your pain and discover your true self? Will you embrace the uncomfortable truths that lie within you, knowing that it is through them that you will find your purpose? The journey ahead will not be easy, but it will be worth it. Because when you face the shadow, you will find the light within yourself, and that light will guide you to the life you were always meant to live. As you continue this journey into the shadow, there will be moments of doubt. There will be times when you feel lost in the darkness, unsure of where the path leads, or if you're even on the right track. The fear may creep in, whispering to you that you're too broken, too far gone to ever find your true purpose. In those moments, it is crucial to remember this. The shadow is not a force meant to destroy you. It is a force meant to shape you, to help you uncover the deepest truths about your existence. When you are lost in the depths of your own soul, when the darkness feels overwhelming and the silence deafening, Understand that this is where the transformation happens. You are being stripped of everything that is not essential, everything that is not in alignment with your true self. The parts of you that you've held on to out of fear or comfort, your insecurities, your false personas, your ego-driven desires, are slowly being released. And with every layer you shed, you make room for the person you were always meant to be. This is not destruction. This is liberation. In solitude, as you face your shadow, you will encounter pieces of yourself that you may not recognize. Anger you've buried, the hurt you've refused to acknowledge, the shame that has haunted you for years. All of these aspects of your shadow will come to the surface. But here's the key. Instead of fighting them, instead of rejecting them, as weaknesses or flaws, embrace them as part of who you are. Understand that these emotions and experiences do not define you. They are simply the raw material from which you will build your true self. It is through embracing these parts of yourself that you will find the power to transcend them. What Jung teaches us through his exploration of the shadow is that the journey to self-actualization is not a journey toward perfection. It is a journey toward wholeness. You are not broken. You are not incomplete. But in order to realize that, you must face every part of yourself, including the parts that you fear, the parts that you've tried to hide away. Only then will you understand that all of it, every part of you, light and dark, has contributed to the person you are today. And in that understanding, you will find the key to your purpose. You might ask, why does the shadow matter so much? Because the shadow is where your greatest lessons lie. It is through your pain, your flaws, your imperfections, that you are shown the way to your highest self. The shadow contains not only the aspects of yourself that you reject, but also the hidden talents, the untapped potential, and the deep wisdom that you have yet to discover. The more you embrace your shadow, the more you allow it to reveal the depth of your character, your resilience, and your ability to grow. This process is not instantaneous. It is a lifelong journey, one that requires patience, vulnerability, and above all, acceptance. Acceptance of your whole self, including the parts that scare you, that hurt you, that you wish weren't there. In accepting the shadow, you come to realize that it does not diminish you. It is not something that weakens you or makes you lesser. It is the foundation upon which your true strength will be built. Jung believed that when you embrace the shadow, you integrate it, making it a conscious part of who you are. No longer will your pain control you from the unconscious depths of your being. Instead, you will harness its power to shape the life you were always meant to lead. The very aspects of yourself that you once feared will become the catalysts for your growth and evolution. And as you do this, you will notice a shift. The external world, once so noisy and overwhelming, will no longer dictate your happiness or sense of self-worth. You will begin to live from the inside out, guided by your deepest truth, not by the fleeting demands of the outside world. As you walk this path of shadow work, you may find that the people around you begin to notice a change. You will no longer be the person who hides behind masks or seeks validation from others. You will be the person who walks in their truth, who lives authentically, who embraces both light and darkness without shame. And it is in this authenticity that your purpose will begin to emerge with clarity and power. You will no longer be seeking purpose outside of yourself. You will be living it every day in every action and every choice you make. You may also realize that the more you embrace the shadow, the more you begin to attract people and experiences that align with your authentic self. As you shed the layers of who you are not, you make space for the people and opportunities that resonate with your truth. No longer will you attract relationships or situations that perpetuate your old wounds or reinforce your false beliefs. Instead, you will find yourself surrounded by those who reflect your inner light, who support your growth, and who challenge you to step into your fullest potential. This is the beauty of embracing your shadow. It is not about rejecting parts of yourself or trying to escape pain. It is about facing everything that makes you uncomfortable, everything you've tried to avoid, and using it to become the person you were always meant to be. And in doing so, you will find your purpose not in grand achievements or external recognition, but in living authentically, in being true to yourself. Jung's exploration of the shadow is not just a psychological concept. It is a powerful tool for self-liberation and self-discovery. By embracing the shadow, you allow yourself to break free from the constraints of societal expectations, from the pressures of perfection, and from the fear that has held you back. You no longer need to seek approval or validation from others. Instead, you can step into your own light, knowing that you are enough just as you are. And as you continue on this journey of shadow work, you will discover that pain is no longer something to avoid. It becomes a powerful ally, a guide that helps you navigate the path to your true self. In every moment of discomfort, you will find the seeds of growth. In every moment of darkness, you will find the light that has always been within you. The journey to purpose is not a smooth, straight path. It is a winding road filled with both light and shadow. But the more you embrace both, the more you will discover that your purpose was never something external to be found. It was always inside you, waiting to be revealed through the shadows. By embracing your pain, your imperfections, and your struggles, you will uncover the wisdom that lies within and create a life that is truly meaningful. Now, as you step into the fullness of your own being, ask yourself, what will you do with this newfound truth? Will you continue to hide from your shadow, or will you embrace it fully, knowing that it holds the key to your deepest purpose? The choice is yours. The path forward is clear, but it is up to you to take the first step. Embrace your shadow, embrace your pain, and begin to live the life you were always meant to live. As you stand at the threshold of this profound journey, you may feel a mixture of fear and excitement, uncertainty and resolve. You are about to enter a new phase of your life, one that will demand your full presence, your full attention, and your full willingness to dive deep into the parts of yourself you've kept hidden. But let me tell you this. What awaits you on the other side of this journey is not just a sense of fulfillment, but a deeper understanding of yourself, your soul's deepest calling, the truth that has been waiting to emerge from within you all along. The path to embracing your shadow is not an easy one. It will ask you to confront aspects of yourself that you may have buried for years. The uncomfortable truths, the painful memories, the parts of your personality that you've deemed unacceptable or unworthy, they must all be faced. But here's the beauty of it. Once you face them, once you stop running from your pain, you will realize that none of these things define you. They are simply pieces of the larger puzzle of who you are. They are part of your story, but they are not your story in total. In embracing your shadow, you liberate yourself from the constant struggle of pretending to be something you're not. You let go of the need for external validation, for the approval of others, for the belief that you must be perfect to be loved. Instead, you begin to understand that your true power lies in your authenticity. The parts of you that you once tried to hide, your vulnerabilities, your flaws, your contradictions, are what make you uniquely you. And it is in this acceptance of your whole self, shadow and all, that you begin to live with true purpose. You will notice that as you integrate the shadow into your life, the noise of the world starts to lose its grip on you. No longer do you need to seek outside approval or validation, because you have already validated yourself. You have embraced the parts of you that society told you to hide, and in doing so, you've discovered your deepest strength. The external world may still try to impose its expectations on you, but you will no longer be swayed. You will no longer be chasing the illusions that once defined success or happiness. You will be living in alignment with your truth, and that truth will guide you toward your purpose. This process of shadow integration is not a one-time event. It is ongoing, a constant journey of discovery and growth. Each time you face a new aspect of your shadow, each time you confront another part of yourself that you've avoided, you step further into your true power. And each time you emerge from that confrontation, you will find that you are more whole, more complete, and more aligned with your purpose than before. The pain that you once feared will become your ally, showing you the way forward, helping you grow, helping you become the person you were always meant to be. In embracing your shadow, you also begin to see others in a new light. The judgment and criticism that you once projected onto others, these too will fade. As you accept the darker parts of yourself, you will find yourself accepting others more fully as well. You will no longer hold others to the impossible standard of perfection, because you will know that they too are living with their own shadows. And in this acceptance, you will find deeper, more meaningful connections based on the mutual understanding that we are all on the same journey of self-discovery. And as you continue to walk this path, you will begin to see that your life's purpose is not some distant goal that you must strive to achieve. It is not something outside of you that you must find or attain. It has always been within you, waiting to be recognized. Your purpose is revealed through your experiences, through the choices you make, through the way you live your life with courage and authenticity, in alignment with your true self. Jung's exploration of the shadow is an invitation to step into the fullness of who you are. It is a call to stop hiding from yourself, to stop running from your pain, and to start living in the light of your truth. The shadow is not something to be feared. It is the map to your deepest wisdom, your truest potential. By embracing it, you open the door to the life you were meant to live, the purpose you were meant to fulfill. The path is not easy, but it is the only one that leads to true freedom. The more you walk this path, the more you will come to realize that the struggles, the challenges, and the pain were never obstacles. They were the very forces that shaped you, that helped you grow, that helped you discover your purpose. Your life's meaning is not something to be sought outside of yourself. It is something to be uncovered within, in the depths of your soul, in the parts of you that have been hidden in the shadows. So now, as you continue this journey, ask yourself, how will you live moving forward? Will you continue to deny the parts of yourself that make you uncomfortable, or will you choose to embrace them fully? Will you keep running from the pain, or will you step into it, knowing that it holds the key to your transformation? The choice is yours. The path of self-discovery, of purpose, and of wholeness awaits you. Will you take that first step knowing that the journey, no matter how challenging, will lead you to the life you were always meant to live? The time has come to face your shadow. The time has come to embrace your pain, to sit in solitude, and to allow yourself to become whole. The time has come to find your purpose, not in the light of external success, but in the depth of your own soul. The journey will be difficult, but it will also be the most rewarding journey of your life. Will you take it? Will you step into the fullness of who you are and live the life you were always meant to lead? As you continue to embrace the shadow, the dark parts of yourself that you've long denied, you will find that the journey becomes both more challenging and more liberating. The deeper you dive into this process, the more you will feel the tension between the person you thought you were and the person you are becoming. This is not an easy transformation, nor should it be. The purpose of this path is not comfort. It is clarity, self-awareness, and alignment with your deepest truth. This is a journey of profound awakening, and like all awakenings, it requires you to let go of the illusions that have kept you asleep. And here's the paradox. The more you let go of the false identities, the masks you've worn to shield yourself from pain, the more you find that you are whole, complete, and perfectly yourself. The illusion of needing to be fixed, of needing to find validation outside of yourself, dissolves. When you embrace the shadow, you stop being defined by the parts of you that society says are weaknesses or flaws. Instead, you learn to see them as powerful aspects of your unique existence, parts of you that hold valuable lessons, wisdom, and strength. As you shed these layers of illusion, you begin to recognize your true self, what Jung called the self, with a capital S. This self is not the ego-driven identity that has been shaped by societal expectations, nor is it the parts of you that have been buried in the shadow. The self is the integration of all aspects of who you are, light and dark, known and unknown. It is the wholeness of your being, the deeper truth that lies beneath the surface. And it is from this place of wholeness that your true purpose will emerge. In solitude, you have already begun the work of facing the deepest parts of your psyche. It is in the quiet, in the silence, where you learn to listen to the voice of your true self. The distractions of the world begin to fade, and you are left with the raw truth of who you are. And in that truth, you will discover that your purpose has been there all along. It was not something you needed to find. but something you needed to awaken to. The more you sit with the discomfort, the uncertainty, and the pain, the clearer your purpose becomes. The parts of you that once felt shameful, broken, or flawed are no longer the things you avoid. They are the very source of your power, the source of your unique story. And it is from this source that you will create meaning in your life. Your purpose is not something to chase, something to achieve. It is something to be realized. It is something that reveals itself slowly, in the moments of quiet reflection, in the deep contemplation of your own soul. Your life's meaning is not outside of you waiting for you to grasp it. It is within you waiting for you to uncover it. You have the power to shape your life, to give it meaning, to create a narrative that aligns with your deepest truth. But this power comes with a responsibility, to face yourself, to embrace the full spectrum of who you are, to stop running from your pain and your fear. Pain, as Jung taught, is not something to be avoided. It is the very force that propels you forward. It is the catalyst for transformation. Every hardship, every struggle, every painful memory is an opportunity for growth. When you stop avoiding it, when you stop seeing pain as something that defines you, you can finally start to see it as the raw material from which your true self is forged. Pain, then, becomes the teacher, not the enemy. Through it, you begin to understand what is truly important in life. You begin to see what matters and what doesn't. You begin to realize that the superficial aspects of life, money, success, approval from others, are fleeting and empty. Your true purpose lies in the integration of your pain, your shadow, your true self. It is found in your ability to live authentically, to be true to who you are, not who the world says you should be. As you continue down this path of self-discovery, you will find that life begins to take on new meaning. The relationships you form will become deeper, more authentic. The work you do will no longer feel like a means to an end. You will be living in alignment with your true self, and that alignment will guide you toward the experiences, the people, and the opportunities that resonate with your purpose. No longer will you be living from a place of fear, striving for things that don't align with your core values. Instead, you will be living from a place of power, authenticity, and inner peace. And as you walk this path, you will notice something remarkable happening. You begin to attract the right energy into your life. People who are aligned with your true self will show up, offering support, companionship, and understanding. Opportunities that resonate with your purpose will present themselves, often in unexpected ways. It's as though the universe begins to respond to the vibration you are now emitting. When you embrace your shadow, you stop repelling the things that are meant for you. You start to magnetize the experiences, the relationships, and the opportunities that will support your growth and purpose. But the journey does not end here. This work of shadow integration, of embracing the fullness of who you are, is an ongoing process. Life is not static, and neither is your purpose. As you continue to grow, as you continue to uncover new layers of yourself, you will find that your purpose evolves too. What feels true for you now may shift as you deepen your understanding of yourself. But one thing will always remain constant. The more you embrace your authentic self, the more you will live in alignment with your purpose. The process of shadow work, of embracing your pain, your fears, and your vulnerabilities, is not just about achieving personal fulfillment. It is about reconnecting with the deepest, truest part of yourself. It is about living with intention, purpose, and authenticity. And it is only through this process of integration, facing the shadow, embracing the pain, and living fully in your truth, that you will discover the profound meaning that lies within. Your purpose, as Jung teaches us, is not something that exists outside of you. It is something that comes from within. It is the life you create by embracing who you truly are, by integrating the shadow and living authentically. So as you continue this journey, remember that the pain you have faced, the parts of yourself you have hidden from, are not obstacles. They are the key to your freedom, your power, and your purpose. When you embrace them, you embrace the fullness of who you are, and in doing so, you unlock the life you were always meant to live. This is the journey to your true purpose. The path may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Each step you take brings you closer to the life you were destined to live, a life of authenticity, power, and meaning. The shadow is not something to be feared. It is the key to everything you have been seeking. Step into it, embrace it, and in doing so, you will uncover your truest, most powerful self.